Well, this is one of those days where I'm wanting to paint, but I'm not presentable for the camera. But I really wanted to introduce this piece. This is something very, very special. It belongs to one of my very best friends in the whole wide world, Linda, my neighbor across the street. And this was her mom. She doesn't know even if maybe it was her grandmother's, but so it is very, very old. It is a beautiful soup tureen with a ladle, and it's got a lot of relief detail, grapes, grape leaves, and on the top, I'm not sure what that is. It's a tiny, tiny little bunch of grapes, I guess, because I see the leaves. Anyway, it's really beautiful. I cleaned it, so that's why I can't, I have to touch it with these gloves. On the bottom, the best I could read, it looks like it says CALIF period, which I'm assuming means California. And then it has very clearly USA. And on the bottom, I could make out 3 numbers 715. So I'm not sure what all that means, but I know it's very old, and I'd love to know its origin. But I'm going to paint it for her. She wants me to do it in my signature black and white royal squares, and then to do the grapes and the leaves in a realistic, like real grapes, real leaves, in reds and greens. So it's going to go in her kitchen up on her cabinet up high, and it won't be used, but it'll be a pretty just a piece for her kitchen. So Linda, this is for you, and I hope I can do it justice. I've already measured it, and it's gonna make it really easy on me because it's an even amount of inches around. It's an even amount of segments, all the little segments that you can see here around. I don't know if you can see the bottom, but there's segments down here, kind of sort of like a pumpkin, when I did that pumpkin way back for my granddaughter-in-law. And so it's going to make it easy for me to mark it off to paint. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to grid it before I start painting. So I will see you later. And maybe, maybe I'll be in a presentable fashion. Well, I've done the gridding for the black and white royal squares, and I'm going to start off by painting the ones that are the easiest to do without having to go into the little difficult areas. So that's what I'm going to start doing. I mark this off with a washable black little felt marker like the kids use when they're doing their art, because it's washable. But I have learned that once this all dries, I have to get something very delicate and get off any residue left from it, because if I don't, and I go to put on the protection, it runs and it smears, and it's not good. So anyway, let's see here. I have all the spots, the squares marked where I want to paint the black. I'm going to need to get this up on something to make it higher. Either I'm going to have to go lower. That might. I can just lower my chair for a minute here. thought it was going to be. And I've gotten this part pretty much done. I'm working on the lid, and I decided to do the outline of the leaves in the dark green and do the veins of the leaves in dark green, and then go over it with this lighter green that I'm doing for the leaves, and then I'll have my veins where I can go over them to make them a little darker. And I'm not sure how I like this, but it is what it is, right? And what is my saying? There's nothing fatal, right? I can go over them. Great thing about acrylic paints, they're very forgiving, pretty much. If you make a mistake, you can honestly I could get it off of here. I could get it all off and start over if I don't like what I'm doing. I probably should have just done the same thing with the top and the bottom, but I didn't, so I'm going to have to, in the end, make them look very similar somehow, where it doesn't look like two people painted this thing. These little leaves and the grapes are raised up so I can paint just them. And what's happening is this paint is wanting to lift and bring the dark green paint off with it. So, and what I always say, nothing's fatal. I can fix it. I don't like it. Trusty Q-tips. This is from my neighbor, Linda. My very good friend. So, oh boy. That went down into there. And it's taking the green paint off if I let it sit here. And then go back over it with my brush. Just pulls up the old paint. So, I'm going to have to let this dry. And then go see what I'm going to have to do to fix it if I don't like it. Okay. Well, right now, that is it. And I honestly think I'm just going to go ahead and paint these leaves here. I don't know. We'll have to see. I gotta let it dry some. Bye. Okay, now I'm gonna paint the veins on the leaves. little project that I'm doing for my best friend Linda, who lives across the street from me. And I actually just got back from having epidural injections in my back, one on either side. I have some sciatica issues, and I'm going to London next week to see my son Tommy and his wife Emma in a play in London where they are two of the actors. She's a main actor, he's a supporting actor, I guess. Anyway, I thought I'd be sitting on that plane for lots of hours, so I got these injections and I hope they're going to help. Anyway, Linda just brought me home, and I think it's worn off, so I don't think I'm high. But I'm painting this suit tureen for her, and I brought her down to let her see it, how it's coming along. And I think she likes it. I've got a little more to do to it. She wants me to do the embellishing on the black and white, which I hadn't decided if I was going to do, so I thought I'd bring her down and let her decide. And then I still have to paint this cute little ladle. But I'm just interjecting this little video because I just decided to. And I think I may air this pretty soon so that it'll be fairly in the time frame of when I film it. Because a lot of times I film things and they don't get aired for months and months, and I talk in the present, and it gets really confusing because I filmed something in September that's for December, but I talk about September, and it's really confusing to everybody, I'm sure. But that's just the way it is, folks, with what I do. But I hope you like what you're seeing here. This beautiful suit tureen. It's an antique. Actually, it was her mom's. She can't remember if it was her mother's or her grandmother's, so there's no telling how old this thing is. She said she offered it to her daughter-in-law, who kind of went, oh, I don't know. And then she saw it today and she said, well, Laura's going to say, oh, I love it. Why didn't I get it? Well, but it's too late because it's for Linda. So anyway, I'm going to go and do some more work on this. And I may put the camera around here and show you what I'm going to do. But I'm still dressed like I went to the doctor. And I think I'm still high on that drug. But I'll see you later. Bye. Like I said, Linda said she wants some embellishing on this, so I'm going to try to do it justice. And I'll start with the lid. And you never know how it's going to go. Just however my brush hits the piece. And I guess that's what makes it so interesting. Alright, there's black there. And now I've got to go around the whole piece. And I think I need to not touch this top with my fingers. You know what? I'm going to wash the brush and do the white, the putty. The putty's the color I use on the black. It's not a white. It's a putty white. But I like the way it shows up on the black better than I do just white. So that gives it that little extra interest. And I think I'm going to do some dignified dots in black on the the yellow ochre and on the handles where I have the yellow ochre. I think that will snazz it up a bit. But now I'm going to have to be very careful and take off the top so I can do the bottom. And I'm going to have to put the bottom up on, raise it up a bit. So I'm going to pause. Well, I forgot to turn on the camera while I was doing the dignified dots around the lid. They're so cute. I think I got me doing them on the handles, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Sometimes I think more is more, and sometimes I think less is more. Anyway, I'm leaving it at that. So, we are all done except for the protective coat that I put on glass so that it will stay on. Now, it won't be dishwasher worthy, but Linda's not going to use it. It's going to be up on her cabinets, but at least when she dusts it and wipes it down when it gets dusty, the protective coating will keep it nice. So that's it, folks, except for the ladle. I forgot I got the ladle, but I haven't decided what I'm going to do with that yet.